Identify yourself.
94.3 WRHD HD1, Farmville, Greenville, the exclusive home for Pirate Athletics. 94.3 The Game. It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
All right, welcome in, everybody. We have a little bit of a developing story as we begin here.
Everyone, a little breaking news for you.
Well, sports bettors, get your wagers ready. North Carolina moved a big step closer to legalizing online sports gambling on professional college horse racing and other sports and permitting in-person sports betting at certain venues across the state. The state Senate passed House Bill 347, 3811 on its second reading. The Senate must vote again on the measure tomorrow, a formality that is unlikely to lead it to any changed votes. It's rare that a bill that drew this kind of support would have opposition and see that many people defect from voting for it. The legislation will then have to go to the House after it's voted on tomorrow. Lawmakers must agree to the Senate's many changes, and then it'll be signed by the Gub, Roy Cooper, who has indicated that he will sign it.
I love sports.
He does. And we will have legalized sports gambling in North Carolina. The bill's effective date is January 8th, so that would be in time for the Super Bowl. But the bill does state that, quote, sports wagering shall not be authorized in the state until a date identified by the Lottery Commission, which shall occur as soon as practicable, and may be no later than 12 months after the date the act becomes law. So it could go into next June of 24. The Lottery Commission can award up to 12 licenses for operators to take online sports bets for any adult located in North Carolina. Bets are typically made through apps or apps on phones or other electronic devices. 8 facilities across the state could operate a sports book under the bill. That would be the PNC Arena in Raleigh, Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary. That would be a reason to go watch soccer, right? Oh, I have a drop for that. I have a good drop for that. Well, we'll find it another time. Bank of America Stadium, the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, North Wilkesboro Speedway. How about that? Sedgefield Country Club and Quail Hollow Country Club. Each venue would be allowed to partner with one mobile operator, which could leave at least 4 licenses for operators without in-state partners. That could mean possibly physical sports books. Maybe, a box store kind of thing. I don't know. We had one of the members of the North Carolina legislature, Senator Jim Perry, on with us on the morning show this morning, and he said he will rather entertain any idea that could bring jobs to the East. I kind of long stated, this is not turnkey or wouldn't happen overnight, but I think that failed Randy Parton theater project, they need to go in there and turn that into a sports book casino of some kind, or at least a sports book. That could be really, really, and I think eventually you may see casinos in other areas other than Indian reservations. They had that casino in Danville that just opened, last week? And the majority of license plates in the parking lot were from North Carolina, according to all kinds of reports and anecdotal tales. Operators will be charged 18% tax on gross gaming revenue, and it does not allow those companies to deduct the cost of promotions or credits often used to get customers to sign up. Projections indicate North Carolina could receive $100 million in tax revenue by the 27-28 fiscal year. So the rub is the Senate has passed the sports wagering bill. It'll be passed on a second vote tomorrow, which is procedure in the state. And the House must agree to the changes. So there you go. Might see something in the Greensboro Coliseum. I don't know. We will see. But that is some of the breaking news that is happening today. It's a Mully Tuesday. It just works out that he's in here. Our friend, our pal, Mike Mullis, is in the hizzle again today. We're going to talk baseball at all levels with him because there's a lot of baseball going on right now this week. Mully, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm great. Doing well.
So it's actually a Mully Tuesday on a Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday? It just feels like Tuesday.
It is. It's kind of.
I've been doing that all week.
It's kind of a weird week.
I've been doing that all week. Boy, the week is getting away from us. Mully and I will be together again, not just in this venue, but at the beautiful. Is it the Ting? The Ting Stadium in Holly Springs?
Yes.
The
not
Ting.
to be confused with the powdered orange drink Tang.
Correct.
It is the Ting.
Tang was the one that they gave the astronauts, right?
Yeah,
Gatorade.
absolutely. Yeah.
Gatorade is out of Gainesville, Florida. Right.
You got it.
You remember old school Gatorade and the taste of it, Mully, before they started making it a sweet drink to sell in stores? Do you remember that old school Gatorade?
I do, and so my sons, they are consumers of Gatorade at a very high level, and they still are completely vexed by the fact that it was in glass bottles. And it had a powdery taste to it back in the day. Yeah, and you definitely had to shake them up then. I mean, it was a must do. Yeah. But yeah.
Now it's just a refreshment drink that's sold in convenience stores along with the other sugary drinks.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It is. So we got a lot to talk about. There's a report, and I want to make sure I cite it, although I cannot find it right now. But there was a report. Well, let me do this. Couple things to announce today. We're going to have coverage of J.H. Rose on the radio, 103.7. Going to get a chance to broadcast the Rose game for the NFHS network. That's where we're going with the Ting thing. Mully and I will be at the gorgeous Ting Stadium in scenic Holly Springs, America, on Friday and Saturday, calling games for NFHS network. And the people that do it are very, very kind. You see on the screen, if you're with us on the video, the rundown for what will be happening with Rose and West Henderson. We'll have game one for you Friday night at 8 o'clock with our coverage at that time. And then game two on Saturday at 2 p.m. And then the if game, I think it says 8 o'clock, but they could play it at 5. I think it just depends kind of what happens with the other series. They're actually running the 3A and the 4A from historic, and that's putting it rather kindly, historic Burlington Athletic Stadium in Burlington. But Mully and I are going to be on a different beat. We thought we'd get the Rampants. More on that series coming up in just a bit. Mully, wanted to get your reaction to this. It was reported by Ashley Cash, who works for a site, College Baseball Central. And she is a writer for them and covers the AAC for them. She has a connection to East Carolina, but she put in the out in the Twitter sphere today that Merritt Beaker, Pirate reliever, has entered his name officially into the transfer portal. So don't know if this will be a trend, but it probably won't be anything. I'm sure there'll be some people going into the portal because that's just the nature of the beast right now, is it not?
Yeah, and I obviously don't think that one's a surprise. We did see Beaker early in the season, and had some signs. He'll be a good pitcher for somebody. Left-handed pitcher. I'm sure somebody will pick him up. But yeah, this is the ebbs and flows of college athletics as we know it, and I'm sure there's going to be no different than what we've seen with football and basketball. There's going to be additions and subtractions, and probably some new names to learn. Going into next year, but. And I'm sure the staff over there wishes, all these guys the best in their endeavors. And it's kind of a no hard feelings. Just didn't work out here. Hopefully it works out for you somewhere. And so the best of luck to Beaker.
All right. Well, again, that's just the nature of the beast. You're going to see that, I think. That, it's nobody's fault. It's just kind of where we are in college athletics right now. The other thing I think you're going to see is more names enter the portal at Wichita State. 24 plus in the portal after they fired Lauren Hibbs yesterday. I mean, that's essentially what they did. And Hibbs, who was the conference coach of the year, who had come in and helped the program more than stay afloat, actually had made them relevant this year. They were third in the American as the interim coach, and he was the coach of the year in the American. Well, Wichita State decided they're not going to bring him back, even though he said in a statement today he was perfectly all in and willing to come back and wanting to come back. And as a result, they've had several players enter the transfer portal. And look, I mean, Wichita State had a couple thumpers, but they also had some pretty decent pitching, at least against the Pirates in that series, Mully. So, and you're starting to see kids after the firing of Lovejoy down at UCF. Of course, they're going to the Big 12, but you're starting to see those players start to peel off of that roster, and some decent players go into the portal there to see what may come about.
Yeah, you had the pitcher of the year and the player of the year, coach of the year, all at Wichita, and the big first baseman's going in. At last count, I saw something just before we went on. I think it was like 22 or 23 kids have hit the portal. So, I'm sure there's some programs right now that are trying to figure out, okay, we've already committed to a recruiting class. We maybe left some room specifically for portal acquisitions, but it'll be very interested to see where they land. You think about the programs like Campbell and Coastal Carolina, both of which have been very aggressive in the portal. I'm sure that those guys are kind of foaming at the mouth, if you will, to make a run at some of these guys because they're proven entities. That first base, a good player. I think he had 15 or 16 home runs, and obviously again, a number of kids that you could bring in from that program that could help you fairly immediately. And I think that's kind of regardless of where you're at.
All right, we're going to get a break. Mike Mullis on a Mully Tuesday on a Wednesday as he is in talking ball. We're going to get into Mully's breakdown of the Charlottesville Regional and some other thoughts on the field of 64. We're going to get his preview of the Rose Series. It's almost like Mully was calling the game. That's how good his preparation for the Rose preview on this show is going to be coming up. And we've got some information in our Pirate Report, which we're going to bring you in our next segment, which will include some TV destinations and kickoff times for Pirate football. All of that when we get back on the Patrick Johnson Show.
We're back in minutes with more of the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
You should go have that tested.
Make sure to listen or watch now on the new IBX Media app. Get it now in the App Store or Google Play. Hear 94.3 The Game anytime on the IBX Media app.
Is it free?
Yes.
The only app you need.
I love the app.
Download it for free in the App Store or Google Play and get to your favorite radio station in 2 clicks. All your sports, music, talk, and podcasts, including the latest from Steve and Igo at Hoist the Colors and year-round coverage from the East Carolina Sports Network. Listen live anytime, anywhere to ENC Radio's best.
I always listen.
Download the app.
The IBX Media app.
Not far from here, miracles are happening. Kids are being treated for every imaginable disease and injury at James and Connie Maynard Children's Hospital at ECU Health Medical Center. It doesn't matter who or what the problem is. Cancer to car accidents, blood disorders to sports injuries, or a baby that just can't wait to be born. Our children's hospital is the James and Connie Maynard Children's Hospital. Not far from here, kids are getting better and going home thanks to our community's donations to Children's Miracle Network. Tune in to WITN for the Children's Miracle Network Telethon this weekend to learn more about the amazing care provided every day at Maynard Children's Hospital.
We need your help.
You can help sick and injured children by donating today at givetocmn.com, or you can call in during the telethon at 1-800-673-KIDS. 100% of your gift to Children's Miracle Network will stay right here in Eastern North Carolina to help make miracles happen. And together we can change kids' health and change the future.
Thank you.
Hi there. My name's Ryan McChrystal, catcher for the ECU Pirates. As the catcher, I see the importance of insurance every day on the field. Just like a catcher's gear protects me from harm, insurance protects you and your family from the unexpected. East Coast Agency has always been there for me, and they'll be there for you too. Just like a catcher is always ready for the next pitch, you should always be prepared for life's curveballs. Contact East Coast Agency today at eca-insure.com or call 910-446-5061 for East Coast Agency. Go Pirates!
Life is short, and if we spend our time suffering with pain and it takes away our joy, that's not a very good way to live.
He's right. It's hard to be happy when you're in constant pain. QC Kinetics patient Chad admits the chronic pain in his knee really robbed his quality of life.
When I was going to the traditional doctor and getting the pain pills, my smile wasn't as big as it usually is. Going to my high school reunion on crutches, it was awful.
But then Chad visited QC Kinetics. He experienced the real power behind natural regenerative treatments. Using healing properties from his own body, QC Kinetics was able to restore and repair damaged tissue, finally giving Chad lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
And I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can help your body heal itself at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 252-765-PAIN. That's 252-765-7246. 252-765-PAIN. And now, Patrick Johnson with today's Pirate Report on the flagship station of the ECU Pirates, 94.3 The Game.
All right, let's start with Coach Godwin here. A couple comments from him before the team departed today for Charlottesville. And he says the Pirates are ready to go and compete.
Yeah, you've been in college baseball long enough that you have a lot of friends. I really, personally didn't want to go to UVA or Clemson because of my ties to Clemson with Eric and Nick, and then UVA, Coach Max, one of my mentors. We've done this before, several times. That seems like the committee likes for us to get paired up, but, at the end of the day, we've got to go out there and compete, and that's what we look forward to doing.
All right. Cookie, was that cut 2 or is that cut 1?
That was number 2.
Okay, all right. Coach Godwin says the team will not do well. We've already well, and that's not. This is from the other day. Coach said the team was not going to do any baseball-related stuff until today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, today and tomorrow we're not doing any baseball stuff. We're lifting weights. We're getting treatments. We're getting our bodies ready. We'll practice here Wednesday morning, and then we'll get on a bus and go to Charlottesville, and then have our hour and 15-minute practice, which the NCAA allows, on that Thursday. So we'll do that, and then we'll get ready to play.
And it doesn't matter who you play, according to Coach G, everybody in the regionals are good.
I don't know much about Oklahoma. I know their coach, Skip, does a really good job. They were obviously in the national championship game last year, and this is no disrespect to them, but it doesn't matter. This time of the year, everybody's good. I told our players before they came over here, your job, the media, is to talk about which regional's the toughest and which one's the easiest. And look, man, it's the top 64 teams in the country, so you got to go out there and play good baseball.
All right, you heard him, Mully. That's our job, to talk about which teams are the toughest, which regional's the toughest, which one's the pathway. Are you ready to do that here in a minute? Because I've got to get into some football times before we do that. So are you ready for that in a moment?
Buddy, I'm fired up.
Now that you're a member of the media, an esteemed member of the media, I might add.
Right.
A major member of the media. Well, you've always been a member of the media, but I mean, now you're like really in the media.
There you go.
You're one of those in the media. We were talking yesterday about Peacock, and it's a good thing I never canceled my subscription after watching Clark's movie Halloween Kills, because if I want to watch the ECU Michigan game for whatever reason, I can't be in Ann Arbor or this or that or whatever reason, I could watch it on Peacock, because that's going to be the exclusive home of the Pirates and Wolverines on September 1st. A noon kickoff on Peacock. You have Peacock, Mully, or no?
I went the Peacock route for Dan Patrick some time back, so I'm still I wonder. I'm just, and I'm sure we don't have an answer right off. Maybe it's something the Google box could tell us. But I wonder what Peacock paid for the rights to that football game.
They would have paid the Big Ten. Hey, since we've got 100 people on staff, why don't we? Can somebody Google that the media rights for I guess the Big Ten from Peacock? It would be under the NBC deal. So I guess NBC's media rights deal with the Big Ten.
That's the NBC arm a la ESPN Plus.
Right. So if ESPN. Dom or Cookie or somebody could look that up, that'd be great.
Cookie's on
so
it
we
right
could
now.
know. Great. All right. Then we got App State on the 16th in Boone, where tickets were going for $100 starting. 3:30, that has been designated as an E+ game, and then Gardner-Webb on the 23rd, a 6 p.m. game, will be an E+ game. We see here, of course, the SMU game will be on ESPN, October 12th. It's one of those Tuesday games. And the Navy game on the 18th of November has been designated as an ESPN network destination. No time or destination for television with Marshall as of yet. It remains TBA. My guess is
completed a 7-year media rights agreement with the Big Three, Fox, CBS, NBC, and the total was $7 billion.
Yeah.
Woo!
Pretty
so there
good
you go. Yeah. Over how many years, Cookie?
7 years.
7 years?
Yeah,
so that's $1 billion a year. Okay.
Yeah, and depending on where they go with their expansion, that's $80 to $100 million.
Right.
A
per
team.
School.
Yeah,
right.
Per school per year. Pretty good take.
Pretty good take. So, Cookie, with more on this coming up in the update in just a bit. Right now, let's break down the regional from Charlottesville. Patrick Johnson show here today. Mike Mullis is with us. Mully, so it's going to be ECU and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got some arms. Oklahoma's a really fast and aggressive base running team. So how do you see the matchup on Saturday night or Friday night?
You know what? I have gone back and watched them play a couple times on the kind of the on-demand ESPN Plus, and
not on Peacock.
No, not on Peacock. They, I tell you what, you kind of nailed it. Super aggressive on the pass, going to run the bases hard. They've got fairly good team speed, top to bottom. Pitching is not overly dominant from a strikeout kind of standpoint, but throw a lot of strikes, kind of nibble and bite around the zone, and kind of pitching staff that almost makes you get yourself out. I think the thing that stands out to me most with them offensively, coupled with that speed, is you just don't see them hit many balls in the air. There's a lot of line drives, a lot of hard ground balls. Of course, one of the games I watched them play was in the Big 12 tournament, which was at a pro park, all turf, so the ball's just scooting through the infield or into the outfield. But I think it's a real simple recipe. It's they're going to try to make the Pirates beat themselves. And I think it's a lot like what we saw more so with last year's Pirate team, where, there were times where you might see 3 bunts in a row. I remember that a time or two, or, really kind of putting pressure on the defense. So if you can have kind of a fast break type offense in baseball, that's exactly what I would expect to see, out of Oklahoma, which is kind of ironic. I think that also mirrors a lot of what UVA is going to do. Leading the country in home runs, leading the country in batting average, leading the country. I saw a really convoluted stat, and I love looking at the depth of these stats, but UVA leads the country in hits per balls put in play. It's kind of an interesting stat, but I think you're going to see
deep dive.
Yeah, super deep dive. So I think both of those offenses will be very similar. With UVA having a little more dominant arms, and I know we were talking specifically about Oklahoma, but be remiss not to mention a 38-win team in West Point that's going to be very, very game. Kind of looking back through their schedule, they, like a lot of programs, even like East Carolina, have had a little bit of a roller coaster season. But quality numbers and against fairly quality opponents.
We have Mike Mullis with us here. Pirates have some familiarity with UVA, but first things first, you got to be able to beat, Oklahoma and take care of business there, which is doable. And look, I hear what you're saying on Army. I mean, that there's nothing you're going to be able to present to Army that they're not going. They're just going to keep coming no matter what. That's the DNA of the military academies. I mean, you and I were talking earlier today, and you said that is the true student athlete. You want student athlete in the classic sense. Army, Air Force, Navy. I mean, the Citadel, VMI. That's the true sense there of the amateur student athlete and no NIL and that sort of thing.
Yeah, the sense of obligation there goes way past, like you just said, the NIL. I mean, that's not even the NIL. There is an unbelievable education, an opportunity to serve your country as an officer, and I mean that's where the NIL type thought process is, and special students at all those service academies. Give me your idea. Handicap the Pirates' chances to get out of this thing. What do you think? You know what? I like everybody. And again, I don't mean to just jump on the kind of the same cliche talk that Cliff gave a little bit ago, but it's all these things hold true because they are so true. All these teams are quality. Anybody can get out of this regional. And I know we as a fan base start looking ahead to what about the next regional, and what if Duke comes out of there and we could come out. All those things will shake themselves out. I think it's going to come down to the small details, and what I mean by that is not having taking pitches off, not having balls scoot through our legs with the 2-strike count, behind the plate, not having the kind of in-betweeners fall that we've seen a time or two out in the outfield. So that you cannot give. Especially Oklahoma and Virginia, you cannot give them extra outs. I mean, it's just real simple. And Oklahoma showed in the couple games I watched, if you even give them an inkling that there's an opportunity to pick up an extra base, they're going to take that opportunity. They stole 104 bags this year. So, any team that steals triple-digit in Division I baseball and in a conference like the Big 12, and I think the Big 12 is one of those conferences that gets greatly overshadowed because of what happens in the SEC and the ACC, especially this year. But when you go through the names that are in that conference, and they landed 5 teams, in the postseason, and I mean it is a major understatement to call that a quality conference. It's a very, very good conference. It's going to produce lots of pro guys at a very high level, and has historically. So, you still up 100+ bases in that league, and look, they only hit 44 home runs. So I mean, it's real clear where the balance is with the Sooner Club.
And look, if you see a Big 12 team in Omaha in a couple of weeks, don't be shocked.
Correct, 100%.
Yeah, they'll like you say, the SEC and the ACC this year have garnered a lot of the headlines. Mike Mullis with us here, Patrick Johnson Show. A couple other quick things I wanted to get your take on before we preview the Rose Series. And Wake Forest, they'll play George Mason, who the Pirates played earlier this year in Winston-Salem. Wake Forest should have no problem getting out of that regional, should they?
I can't imagine that they will. I mean, they are the perfect combination of they can really pitch it and they can hit it at a high level. So, I mean, when you have those two things, not to mention they play defense, all those, they're probably as well-rounded as any team in the field.
Yeah. Future American member, the Conference USA champ Charlotte plays Tennessee in the Clemson Regional. And, don't look past the Niners, but, hey, it kind of seems like Tennessee might be the kind of interesting 2-seed pick there over the Tigers in some people's minds.
Yeah, we're so quick to forget the Tennessee program that was out there last year, and this obviously they've had some guys change, and their manager, their head coach Vitello was kind of quieted early in the year with some of his antics and some of the team's antics, but nonetheless, they're very good. They're very good on the mound, not quite as deep as we've seen them in the past, and absolutely explosive offensively. So That to me, with Clemson, kind of got a little bit of a rough draw there from the standpoint of that's probably in a lot of people's mine included. That's Tennessee's the best 2 out there.
Vance Honeycutt has been ruled out of the NCAA regionals, and UNC will be playing Iowa in Terre Haute, Indiana. Now, look, they got some other guys that can bop in that lineup, but Honeycutt, losing him, I mean, that's a huge blow.
Yeah, that's a kid that's going to be a big leaguer for a long time. He's going to play, he's got a lot of baseball ahead of him to play. And I think that's probably part of the pressure that the coaching staff there feels is obviously that they want a chance to go to Omaha. They want a chance to win in Omaha, but they have to protect this young man's future. And so, I mean, they've got to be careful with him. And they've made that choice. They've won ball games without him, but it's obviously that's a bat that's nearly irreplaceable in your lineup. That and not to mention he is an incredible defender. So I think for the Tar Heels, it all comes down to what their pen does. They've had pretty consistent starts out of their top two arms. Their third guy's been a little hit and miss lately, and then it's going to be what the bullpen can figure out. But like you said, that it's to lose Honeycutt, and I mean, life goes on. You have to go out there and roll down out and do the best you can.
I'm not no tears being shed here for the Tar Heels, but I mean, he's a fabulous player, and it's going to impact their lineup greatly. A couple other matchups involving teams from North Carolina, right? Let's start with one that I don't think you can understate, but it's not maybe garnering the headlines as the other one, and I'm talking Duke and UNCW. They're in the Coastal Carolina Regional down in Conway. That is very interesting to me.
That whole regional is very interesting, and obviously we're watching it on several different levels. But, Duke is a team that's kind of scuffled their way in, and I don't know if you saw how UNCW
They were as hot as anybody in the country a couple weeks ago.
UNCW advances to the championship of their conference tournament due to a dropped pop-up on the infield. The third baseman misplays.
In a rainstorm.
Then collides with the first baseman, which allowed 2 or 3 runs to score, which sent them to the championship. So you start looking at things like that, and maybe there's a little karma there. And Randy Hood's one of the great guys in the game, and wish nothing but the best for him and the Seahawks. And quite frankly, the whole regional field is so good for the state of North Carolina. It just shows what a hotbed of baseball it is, and again, to bring it even more home back, kind of down east and old CAA foes, nothing but the best for them. But that's going to be an interesting one. Duke kind of limping in. UNCW has maybe got a little mojo going, and again, going to the host there. Coastal Carolina is a little bit fragile in the bullpen. They've got a great closer, but getting to their bullpen, a little bit fragile. They do have some guys that can swing the bat. Again, not the team that we saw here last year. Their number one guy that gave us such a fit last year is actually on the pitching staff at UVA, so we may get another look at him this year. So a lot of interesting moving parts coming out of that regional. And
the other thing to keep an eye on in that Coastal Conway regional is they are opposite of the Charlottesville regional where ECU is playing. All right, Campbell and NC State in Columbia, South Carolina. Interesting that the Gamecocks, well, I should say interesting they wound up hosting, but I mean, they are hosting. And they were not playing great near the end of the year.
No, that was exactly what I was going to say, PJ. Again, it's kind of ironic. You're similarly fragile as Coastal as is South Carolina. That's not a layup by any stretch of the imagination for the Gamecocks. They have shown the ability to be absolutely explosive offensively. That's kind of left them, and they literally limped into that spot. So Campbell, I mean, I don't dislike Campbell coming out of that with the combination of pitching and offense they've got. I mean, they're going to make that thing interesting for sure.
You think that you think that the Camels can hammer their way out of that one and be the representative out of that regional? I mean, a lot of people felt like they should have been a host seed based on where their RPI was.
Yeah, and if you think back, Campbell went to that powder keg of a team in Tennessee last year and took them to the wire in the regionals. So this is a battle-tested club that plays with some swagger. They are. You saw the player hold up the sign at the regional deal, nobodies, and I think they buy into that. And it's the old, it's the chip on the shoulder thing. They are the cornered animal. I do think they were a deserving host site, quite frankly. But, they didn't get it. The committee thought otherwise, and so now they go on the road. And I can promise you they're not scared in that regional by any stretch of the imagination.
No, the way they can hit, too, I mean, it really is unbelievable. I mean, I still think Campbell's a team that don't be shocked if you see them in Omaha.
Yeah,
just based on their hitting alone, they probably should get through to the Super. I mean, really, just based on the way they hit the ball.
Yeah, the problem is they're in a regional with other teams that, again, can explode for a bunch of runs. So,
sure.
It's one of those things that you get a pitcher hot at this time of the year, a dude just finds it. That's going to stymie those big bats. I like the teams that have the ability to produce runs at this point. The guys that can get a guy on, get him over, aren't afraid to lay one down, not afraid to hit and run, and maybe even not in the best of counts. So, I mean, I like the teams that, like I said, can kind of string it along a little bit better than I like the teams that kind of sit back and wait on the 3-run jack.
So, we probably need to get a break in. I tell you what, curveball for the crew. Mully, can you hang through the break?
Sure.
We'll come back and preview Rose. So I tell you what, we'll grab a break, come back. We'll preview Rose and that series coming up, and then we'll do a 94.3 The Game sports update and Pirate report out of that segment. So when we come back after this timeout, we'll lay out that for you, and then we'll do an update and then wrap the show up following that. So stay with us through this commercial message here on the PJ Show.
The #1 drive time sports show. The Patrick Johnson Show returns in minutes. 94.3 The Game.
Life is short, and if we spend our time suffering with pain and it takes away our joy, that's not a very good way to live.
He's right. It's hard to be happy when you're in constant pain. QC Kinetics patient Chad admits the chronic pain in his knee really robbed his quality of life.
When I was going to the traditional doctor and getting the pain pills, my smile wasn't as big as it usually is. Going to my high school reunion on crutches, it was awful.
But then Chad visited QC Kinetics. He experienced the real power behind natural regenerative treatments. Using healing properties from his own body, QC Kinetics was able to restore and repair damaged tissue, finally giving Chad lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
And I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can help your body heal itself at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics 252-765-PAIN. That's 252-765-7246. 252-765-PAIN.
Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group is not your typical insurance agency. We educate you on your insurance choices rather than sell you a policy. We offer protection plans across the board, including home and auto insurance, healthcare plans, crop and farm insurance, business insurance, and more. We go the extra mile to find a solution for you, even when it's not easy. We take pride in supporting our communities as well as our clients. Come by our offices and talk with one of our trusted risk insurance advisors today. Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, your whole world covered.
In Pitt County, everyone's a college student. At every age, at every stage of life. From every part of the county. They're parents and police officers. They're nurses who work nights. They're hairstylists and handymen. They come from every walk of life, and they're all getting ahead without taking on loads of debt. Continuing education at Pitt Community College, where everyone's a college student.
Attention business owners and management, Roebuck Staffing of Greenville and New Bern is here for you. Will Roebuck and his staff are committed to fulfilling your staffing needs. Whether you're a contractor, a manufacturing company, or if you just need janitorial or clerical work for your business. Roebuck Staffing also does temporary to permanent and direct hiring. Roebuck Staffing is your trusted partner for all of your staffing needs and employment opportunities. Call Roebuck Staffing at 252-364-8700 or find them online at roebuckstaffing.com.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Have you noticed he's in his own little happy hour? We're back to the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
This is the happy hour program.
Here's the P-Man.
Oh, I should have pulled this up during the break. Bobby, we have Rose Baseball for you. State championships will be coming up on this weekend in North Carolina for softball, girls soccer, and baseball as well, as you can see with us on the video platform. A very slow-running baseball guy. Looked like he was very upset that he flew out. So we've got our sponsors for Rose in the postseason and in the championship. Rose versus West Henderson on 94.3 The Game starts with Game 1 on Friday night at 8 o'clock on 103.7 WTIB. That's what I meant to say. Croft Massey and Jackson Searles will be the duo calling that one for you on the radio side. Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center bring you our coverage along with Meridian Park Apartments, the Gavin Agency, the J.H. Rose Athletic Foundation, Wells Fargo Advisors in Greenville, Stadium Sports, the law firm of Hardy, Massey, and Blodgett, Caraway Office Solutions, and Tire Realty Group. Thanks to all of those great sponsors. And I think Pitt County Schools, too, is involved as a sponsor of this as well, according to some of the email traffic that I received. So, Rose baseball in the state championship, the great Ronald Vincent with over 1,000 wins. He goes for an 8th state title. And we got Mike Mullis here. Mully, you think they have a shot at getting it?
Got me. There I am. Yeah, no question about it. I mean, look, Andrew Wallen, Hathaway, Hugh Collins, 3 big donkeys are rolling out on the mound. And look, I know that I'm going to miss some folks, but when you're breaking down stats off the Rose roster, anybody who hasn't been to a Rose game, there's, they've got it's like a hockey team. They can run them over in shifts. There's a bunch of bodies in there. So, but those 3 guys stand out. They top to bottom, I mean, Andrew Wallen's got 42 hits on the year. Perry Elvis got 34 hits on the year. So, I mean, we're talking a very well-balanced team. Home runs. I mean, the young Aldridge kid, he's played, 10 or 11 games this year. He's already got 3 home runs. They're good. They're really good. And again, this is not a situation where I think when you wear the Rose jersey, the Rose uniform, this is an expectation, right? I think anything less than winning a state title is a not a failure, but is not what you set out to do. Now, in facing West Henderson, again, now a lot of the information I was able to glean was either discussions with the coaching staffs or stuff we could find online. West Henderson does not have a ton out there. I don't know if that's by design, but to find their stats, but they have a young kid, Truett Manuel, and he is a 2024 grad committed to NC State, 3-sport guy, big-time wide receiver in football, really good baseball player just based off of what I could see video-wise and his numbers. But, I mean, his last outing, he went out as a pitcher, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, struck out 10 and walked 4. So, I mean, again, not knowing a whole lot about their team, I feel like that's probably who the Rampants will see out of the gate. And, I mean, it should be a battle, but I do feel like the Rose has everything they need other than going out and playing the game and not letting the moment, be too big for them.
Right. And then if you're going to Burlington to watch the Rampants, you can watch the 4A series. The 3A and the 4A are going to be played in Burlington. Crazy stuff. But Wake Forest is in that, and who's the other one that is playing
Wake
in that?
Forest and T.C. Roberson. And
Roberson, yeah.
Yeah, Wake
Great
Forest.
athletic tradition at Roberson,
Unbelievable tradition there out of Asheville. But they that Wake Forest team has five kids committed to play collegiately, 4 of them at the Division I level, 1 of them at Carolina. So, again, another team, they've got a kid on their club that's got 13 home runs himself. So, I mean, it should be a good time to sit in Burlington and watch some baseball.
All right. Well, This is really something, Mully. You and I will be on NFHS Network Friday and Saturday.
That's right.
And we'll have the 2A and the 1A series for you from beautiful Ting Park. And you know, Mully, I was all juiced to do one of the 3A or 4A series, but I will take not walking on the roof of Burlington Athletic Stadium for the comfort of the press box of the Ting.
Yeah, no, and it was a really cool thought that we were going to, have the Rampants and again, obviously doing some research on the other teams. That's going to be a good time, but I think we'll have a great time over in Holly Springs, and should be some good baseball there. It's kind of interesting when I started doing some stat diving on the teams we do have. The two 1A teams combined have 3 less home runs than the one kid from Wake Forest. So kind of an interesting deal, but should be a lot of fun. All these young men are very excited, as well as their families, their communities, and, always a big deal when you get an opportunity to play for state championships. A lot of people go a lifetime of playing athletics and never get a chance to leave the field the last day as a winner. Most of the time it doesn't work out that way. So should be a pretty cool deal, and best of luck to the Rampants, and hope they can bring yet another state championship back. And like you said, number 8 for RV.
I know you've got to go, but can you stay for a Hold My Beer, or you got to get out of here?
For you, I'll stay. I may have to move to Raleigh, move in with you, but yeah, I'll stay.
I don't live in Raleigh. Quit spreading that rumor.
Oh, sorry.
Propaganda. I live in the sticks.
Oh, the sticks.
I live in the sticks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, way out in the country, please. I had to get out of that crazy city. Too much going on.
It's a lot.
In there.
It's a lot.
2020 got me out of there. I can tell you that. That was beyond the pale. All right. Cookie with a 94-3 the game update. And then I have a tremendous Hold My Beer for you, Mully, especially now that you're staying for that. So let's if you got to go. I don't want to keep you.
No, we're okay.
Because I know you have. Okay. All right.
We're okay.
We will come back, do Hold My Beer. But right now, Chris Cook with a quick 94-3 the game sports update. Cookie.
In some breaking news from earlier, the Senate passed House Bill 347 38-11 on its second reading. The Senate must vote again on the measure Thursday, a formality that is unlikely to lead to any changed votes. It is a rare bill that drew support and opposition from both Republicans and Democrats in the legislature. The legislation will return to the House, where lawmakers must agree to the Senate's many changes and be signed by Governor Roy Cooper before becoming law. House and Senate sponsors says they have worked together on the changes. Cooper has been supportive of the effort to legalize sports wagering. The kickoff times and TV designations for 4 of the 2023 ECU football games have been revealed, according to ESPN and other media outlets. The Pirates will kick off the season at Michigan with a 12 noon start, exclusively being streamed on Peacock. J.H. Rose Baseball's quest for an 8th state championship will get underway at 8 o'clock Friday night in the best-of-3 Class 3A championship series from Burlington Athletic Stadium. The 26-3 Rampants are taking on West Henderson. Rose has reeled off 13 straight wins. You can hear that series on 103.7 WTIB this weekend. The NCAA baseball tournament regional round begins on Friday. East Carolina departs today for the Charlottesville regional as the number 2 seed. Pirate head coach Cliff Godwin on the upcoming regional.
Glad we're still playing. I think a lot of people take it for granted when you make it to the postseason. I was thinking about Mississippi State. They won a national championship 3 years ago. They hadn't been in the postseason in 2 years. So what we've done here at East Carolina is awesome, and we're just glad to still be playing.
Elsewhere, number 1 seed Wake Forest is set to open up play against George Mason and Winston-Salem. In other action, NC State will face Campbell in Columbia, South Carolina. Duke will challenge UNC Wilmington in Conway, South Carolina. North Carolina squares off against Iowa. Future AAC member Charlotte plays Tennessee in Clemson. One of the top basketball recruits in the country is deciding to head off to college 1 year early. Point guard Elliot Cadeau will graduate early from high school and enroll at North Carolina next week as a part of the 2023 recruiting class. The number 10 prospect in ESPN's class of 24 rankings said that he thinks he can play in college in a couple of months and that there's no reason to stay in high school. Cadeau will enroll at UNC on June 10th and expects to play a big role for the Tar Heels next season. North Pitt North Pitt multi-sport athlete Devin Crumble celebrated his signing with NCA&T Tuesday morning. Crumble will be a running back for the FCS program. However, he did play quarterback and running back during his time at North Pitt. The top player in the transfer portal is making his decision on where he will continue his college basketball career. Caleb Love announced his commitment to Arizona on Tuesday. The former North Carolina guard had originally committed to Michigan earlier this offseason before an admissions issue led to him re-entering the portal. Love averaged 17 points, 4 rebounds, and nearly 3 assists per game with the Tar Heels last season. Arizona is coming off a season where they finished with a 28-7 record and were bounced in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And finally, the Panthers are hitting the field for the second week of organized team activities. Carolina will resume OTA offseason workouts today that will run through Friday. The Panthers are gearing up towards their mandatory minicamp that begins on June 13th. That'll do it for your 94.3 The Game Sports Update. This sports update is brought to you by Team Boneyard, an NIL initiative directly supporting Pirate student athletes. For info on how to donate, please visit teamboneyard.org. More of the Patrick Johnson Show with Mike Mullis on the other side of this quick timeout right here on 94.3 The Game.
All things ECU at 943thegame.com.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
More of the P-Man coming up in minutes.
Not far from here, miracles are happening. Kids are being treated for every imaginable disease and injury at James and Connie Maynard Children's Hospital at ECU Health Medical Center. It doesn't matter who or what the problem is. Cancer to car accidents, blood disorders to sports injuries, or a baby that just can't wait to be born. Our children's hospital is the James and Connie Maynard Children's Hospital. Not far from here, kids are getting better and going home thanks to our community's donations to Children's Miracle Network. Tune in to WITN for the Children's Miracle Network Telethon this weekend to learn more about the amazing care provided every day at Maynard Children's Hospital.
We need your help.
You can help sick and injured children by donating today at givetocmn.com, or you can call in during the telethon at 1-800-673-KIDS. 100% of your gift to Children's Miracle Network will stay right here in Eastern North Carolina to help make miracles happen. And together we can change kids' health and change the future.
Thank you.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Greeting friends of Eastern North Carolina. If you're looking for a great place to work with competitive pay and a multitude of advanced opportunities, Pitt County Schools is hiring. We employ over 3,500 people, and we're one of the largest employers in Pitt County. We are currently seeking teachers, bus drivers, school nutrition personnel, facilities staff, custodians, clerical staff, and more. We offer advanced leadership opportunities to our educators and competitive pay for our skilled labor force. If you want to be part of a thriving school system that focuses on educating students, growing our employees, and promoting positive mental and physical health habits, we encourage you to become a part of our Pitt County Schools family to help ensure success for the future of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org. And remember, education is truly a team effort. Pitt County Schools. Live and lead.
Hi there, my name's Ryan McChrystal, catcher for the ECU Pirates. As the catcher, I see the importance of insurance every day on the field. Just like a catcher's gear protects me from harm, insurance protects you and your family from the unexpected. East Coast Agency has always been there for me, and they'll be there for you too. Just like a catcher is always ready for the next pitch, you should always be prepared for life's curveballs. Contact East Coast Agency today at eca-insure.com or call 910-446-5061 for East Coast Agency. Go Pirates!
Do you have something you need to get off your chest? Get off your chest.
I am not here for rage. I'm here for revenge.
Did your favorite team blow another game?
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Or is there just something that's driving you crazy?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
It's time to let it all out.
You have made me very angry. Very angry indeed.
With another edition of Hold My Beer.
Hold my beer.
All right, Mike Mullis is here. So, Mully, this is kind of like a what grinds my gears segment. You know, a little fun.
Sure.
Nothing too serious, but just a little fun with the fellers here. Just a couple dudes hanging out. Who's playing today? I'm on this. Mully's on this. Cookie, and is Dom on this or what?
I don't have a shot for myself, but I can.
Okay, that's fine, Dom. That's fine. We can hear your voice. There we go. Cookie, get on the mic more, by the way. The mic is very far from you. Oh, there's Cookie running away.
He moved across the room.
Yeah. Really? So he didn't have
We're
a...
good.
We're good. Yeah, I've had a hard time hearing you, Cookie, during the update. Now I know why. You had no mic. You were just standing there yelling. Okay. God, that was... yeah, I mean, you didn't sound as good as you normally do, Cookie.
I know.
The mic was way away from you.
Don't I?
Well, I like your hat, by the way, Cookie. I'm going to give you a shout out to Mayor Bear. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That you have that. Yeah. All
Ben
right.
told me he was one of your most frequent callers in back in the day, right?
I think he and his son would call in back in the day. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. So, Mully, this is, you got to say hold my beer before. I'm going to let Cookie go first. He's a veteran of these hold my beer wars. So, Cookie, your hold my beer. Go ahead.
All right. Hold my beer, because this one makes me really mad.
Oh, we got to be quick, too, because we've got like a minute.
Life's very unfortunate. Some of us are born short. I made it on ESPN for the selection show as a member of the media, and I am the shortest person in view in the selection show, and I'm very upset.
I feel your pain. Dom, quickly, hold my beer. Here, we got a minute.
Hold my beer. ECU's going to sweep the regional.
Hold my soda. Hold my soda, Dom.
They're going to sweep the regional. They're going to beat Virginia Army. They're going to beat Oklahoma. It's going to be that easy for ECU.
All right, hold my beer is very simple. Al Pacino, 83, and has impregnated his 29-year-old girlfriend. They're having a baby. De Niro, a father at 77. Mully, how do these guys do this? It's amazing to me.
Well, we'll talk about that off the air.
Oh, okay. Mully, hold my beer real quick. What you got?
Hold my beer to all the people that can't just enjoy the fact that East Carolina's in the postseason once again. Who cares how it shakes out? Let's have a great time and enjoy the ride.
RV will be on with us tomorrow. Thanks to the great Mike Mullis, and we'll see everybody in the morning. TOT back here at 5 for the Patrick Johnson Show.
Hear 94.3 The Game anytime on the IBX Media app. Download it for free in the App Store or Google Play and get to your favorite radio station in 2 clicks. All your sports, music, talk, and podcasts. Listen live anytime, anywhere to ENC Radio's best on the IBX Media app.